Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. I couldn't find my other glasses, so I had to wear these black ones, but at least I can see. Sorry about last weekend. I had planned on doing a show during the week. The weekend before that, I think Nancy and I were sick. We were sick through the Thanksgiving holidays. Anyway, I forget sometimes, but we had a wild and crazy weekend. My daughter's aunt, stepdaughter's aunt, which when I say stepdaughter, it kind of hurts my feelings because Ashley's been around me long enough that now that she just calls me dad and I feel like her dad. But her real father's sister passed away. So there was, there were some turmoil and everything going on. But anyway, to make a long story short, and then on Sunday Sunday afternoon, we had a wild weekend. My wife's Aunt Linda's husband went to the hospital with chest pains. Lo and behold, within a matter of hours, within 24 hours of them diagnosing him and everything that went on, he went in to have open heart surgery to replace a valve in his heart. So last weekend was really, really wild. So I know I keep on saying so, but sorry about that. But anyway, so a wild and crazy weekend, but glad to be back. Michelle Marcoux's out there. Lynn's handcrafted wood signs. Aussie man, he's out there like always. And Michelle Marcoux, like you always, are there. Those two guys. Michelle Marcoux and Aussie Man, you can depend on them being on every show. And I thank you really from the bottom of my heart. I want to say thank you so very much for always being there out there. I appreciate it. JJE, James Parker. James Parker's another one.
Jimbo.
That's always out there. Yep, Jimbo.
JJE.
Lynn.
JJE's always out there. Lynn's handcrafted wood shop. I mean, there's a lot of y'all that are always Heirloom Game Calls.
Ryan.
Yep, Brian. Thank you. Donna's Embroidery Plus. Who's
Donna?
That?
Dan Enge's out there too. Hello,
Who?
Dan. Dan Enge.
Oh, Dan Enge from Dan Enge Woodworking. Yes, he's out there.
Indeed.
So thank y'all all for always being out there. I appreciate it. I can always depend on y'all for always being there. And I appreciate it so very much. Wild weekend. And then, Thanksgiving week, the week of Thanksgiving was total, excuse my French, hell for me and my wife. We were sick that whole week. Actually, we had, I think I mentioned it before, kids coming over and help us cook, but we were like sick the whole weekend. And then a couple of people that came over and said, "Oh, I'm not going to mention their names, but they were saying like, oh, we're not scared. We're not worried. We're going to come over there and help anyway." And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just letting you know. Well, they ended up getting sick too.
Yep.
Womp, womp, womp.
Exactly. So, yeah. But, it is what it is. I mean, you can't help when you get sick. And then this past weekend, we sure couldn't help what all went on. And let's just start off. And Dixon, tell us where you can find it.
I'm Dixon Hoffman. It's good to be here. And you can find me at hoffmansignsandecals.com, 3D printing.
Donald.
I'm Donald Matthews. You can find me on YouTube as Donald Vlogifies Woodshop on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it is now. And I got a website called redneckknowhow.com.
Jim.
Jim Bashir's Driveway Workshop, currently in month 2 of the apocalypse that is winter, and can't get out of the garage to do it. But So I was working out there this week, and I was cutting out some of these. They're like Frank Lloyd Wright napkin holders, but making walnut versions of them. So with scrap stuff, I thought I'd try making earrings. My daughter's in the roller derby,
Cool.
so
Actually, show that. I mean, those are pretty cool too. Don't get me wrong. That's but show the other candle thing. That's pretty cool.
the other what?
It looks it's the
It's a
candle
napkin.
thing
Napkin.
or a napkin.
It's a
Yeah,
napkin
but it
holder.
looks
Yeah,
yes, but it looks like it looks like stained glass window.
yeah. It's a Frank Lloyd Wright window pattern.
Yes, yes.
But I made them in. It's out in the garage, but I made them in walnut for my oldest
Yeah.
kid because they bought one and couldn't find where to get another one at. So,
Right. No, I
Christmas
was
presents.
impressed with that. I might have to hit you up with the pattern for that because
yeah, I can give it to you. Yep.
And you were asking about freezing, and also that goes for tight bond glue. Tight bond glue, we had the tight bond people come down and talk to our woodworking club meeting one night, and they said that usually tight bond can survive 2 freezings, but it also
Okay.
goes for acrylic paint. Usually acrylic paint can survive a freezing. You just have to 2 things: warm it back up, and then you really, to be honest with you, what you need to get is one of those things that you put on the end of your drill to mix the paint. You know what I'm talking about,
got one.
Jim?
Yep.
Yeah, and mix it really, 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 really good because it needs to get all those things back in together or whatever. But anyway, because you were talking about the water-based polyurethane. Well, it's the same thing as yeah. So oh yeah.
It froze.
So anyway, yeah. Well, anyway, if
I went
it's
and bought this one. So
normally acrylics can handle and water-based paints can handle 2 freezings. And what you look for is, I'm not telling you this. I don't know because I live in Florida, so I have no hell of an idea as to what I'm talking about. But I have been told that they can handle 2 freezings. And what you look for is you stir it really, 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 really good. And then you apply it to the material, test piece of material. And if it dries, you're good to go. So that's what I've been told about acrylic paints or any water-based paints. As long as it dries, then you're good to go with the expected amount of time. In other words, it'll say dry on the can 3 to 4 hours, and then you come back 3 to. Now that's not curing time. There's difference between curing time and drying time. So, but usually if you let it sit for and it dries to touch within a couple of hours like it normally would, then you can go, yeah, it's good. I can continue with it. So now this is what I've been told. I live in Florida, so I have no way of knowing if that's true or not. I'd like for some of y'all up there, like Paul and Jim, to test it out and see if it works.
Paint outside.
I just stir it till the lumps are gone.
Yeah. Huh?
I just stir it till the lumps are gone.
there you go.
Well, that's another way of putting it. Yeah. So, but that's what I've been told.
I had one winter where I lost all my water-based paints and my glues because it was below 0 for more than 2 weeks.
Wow.
2014, 2015 winter. So
Wow.
I lost everything. I pitched it all come spring.
Yeah, we get a 2 or 3 week period here by Chicago where it does that too.
Yeah.
Gets below 0
All right.
for a week or
So,
2.
Paul, tell us where you can find you.
You can find me on YouTube, Paul's Messy Workshop, Instagram, Paul's Messy Workshop, and I have a new laser.
Ooh.
I got a Reality Falcon 2 40-watt laser.
Wow. Okay. So
With the-
next week, actually, that's what we've already been talking about is because Al, I think, brought it up or somebody brought it up
think it
about
was Jim.
Al and his. Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to talk about lasers again for the Humpteenth time, but like we haven't talked about anything else for the 20. And when you've been doing this for 9 or 10 years, you're going to talk about everything 2 or 3 times at least. But yeah, we're going to talk about lasers next week. So that is the schedule program. So, Paul, we're going to talk about yours and Al's laser and Jim's
Jim's
laser or whatever. Yeah.
Jim.
All of y'all's lasers. Cause I have 100-watt OM Tech, laser, 24 by 34, I think it is, bed. And I love it. It's fantastic. So anyway, Donna. Quick,
Presley.
Lonnie.
Donna Presley. Donna's Wooden Art. Donna's Embroidery Plus. You can find me here with Mother.
Hey, Rose.
Say, and
Hi.
you can find me in the kitchen making some fudge and stuff like that.
Yes, and I want to thank Donna again for helping me. Dixon and Donna have been my 2 people that I rely on for 3D printing and embroidery. Always ask them, hey, I need something to ask about you. What my question to her is my wife keeps buying sheets and comforters for her mother in the nursing home, and they keep disappearing. And she asked me if I could embroidery them with her name on it to maybe help stop that. Well, I'd never embroidered a comforter before, so I pick up the phone, call Donna, and say, Donna, how do you do this? And so she explained it to me, and boom, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, I have it embroidered. And on the pillowcase, the flat sheet, the fitted sheet, and the comforter all embroidered with her name on it. So hopefully that'll at least they can go in there, and I took a picture of all of them, so at least they can go in there with their phone and hold it up and say, see these? These were all embroidered. Where are they at?
Yep.
You know? I mean, it may not be a success because they may know, we don't know. We just, but I thought it was a good idea. So, and I did it. So, Chris.
Hey, campers. Chris here from the Old Cranky Workshop. I'm on YouTube and Facebook, and that's about it because I'm too lazy to monitor the others. And we're back from Mexico. The Yucatan is safe. So,
Yeah.
I highly recommended vacation
That's-
for people.
How many days were you gone?
6.
6 days on a boat.
No. In a resort in Mexico.
Oh, it was a resort. Oh, okay. I thought it was a cruise. I'm sorry. So you flew over there and you flew over there. You were at a resort for 6 days and you flew home.
Right.
Yeah.
And our group had the entire resort. It's the brand new Margaritaville Riviera in Cancun. We had the whole place.
Yeah, it looked lots of fun, Chris. Really.
Yeah, it did.
We're already looking forward to next year's.
That flip flop, man, that was really cool. I like that.
Flip-flop.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's
All
great
right, Al.
sitting around with free drinks.
It's
Yeah,
it's worth
let's see what
becoming a
my favorite-
hardhead just to be able to go there, huh?
Yep.
Hey Jimbo, I'm always in the last slot. I don't know if you noticed, but this is my position here. Anyway, Jimbo, live long and prosper. Al Forte, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. Kilroy 79763, all over the place. I stream 2 p.m. Sunday. I'm going to be doing another grandchildren signage, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but hey, using the laser, in fact. I'm even thinking about actually cutting them out instead of taking them a table saw. But anyway, 2 p.m. Sunday, Twitch, Kilroy 79763. Great to be here.
You say that you're always at the last, but it's not my fault. I don't organize it.
Did I say it was your fault? I just said that's
You implemented the fact that you're always last.
He who's late is always in the back.
Yep.
Hey, this is it. This is it. This is my position. This is it.
DTF
Hey, guess what?
video.
I've got all my Christmas requests done.
And
Everything's done
see,
and shipped out.
and see, Chris, the reason I'm always last is because of this right here. You don't know where I've been or where I'll be, but you can be assured you can find me. Kilroy 7, you know, that should be up there somewhere.
Exactly.
But anyway.
Okay. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're 8:18. So
We've already
we're
wasted
gonna
18
get out.
minutes.
We're gonna try. Yeah, we're gonna try to get out here at 9 o'clock. I promised my wife, which I
Well,
always
Russ,
do. And
Get on
yeah.
telling us about what the FT whatever is.
Yes, it's I have been showing some pictures lately about some projects that I have done, and they ask me, "Is this embroidery?" And I'm like, "No, it's a DTF printing." And so I was asked by, I think Brian Warner, I think was one of them. There's 2 or 3 people that asked me what DTF printing was, and I'm sorry I forget your names, but they actually sent me things saying, what's DTF printing? So DTF printing, DTF stands for direct to film. That's what it means. It doesn't mean it does not mean any vulgarity, because I've heard I've heard some people say that there's a meaning for that is in like slang language or whatever, but it does not mean that. It means direct to film.
Russ, I want to point out something that before the show started, you were the one that brought that up.
Yes.
Really?
Well,
I just want to get that.
I brought it up because my younger son and his wife corrected me when I said that DTF, they told me what it really was supposed to mean. And I'm like, y'all are so rude and gross.
And here we go into the gutter.
Off to the channels.
So when it means direct to film, it means exactly what it says. It is a very fine piece of plastic. I think it's PET G or PET. I'll have to.
I don't
what is? Yeah, here. Let me type it in real quick. Or you do that for me. I'll just type it.
I am.
That's what it is. It's PET.
Direct to film is a textile printing technique that involves printing an image onto a film, and then transferring it to a fabric. DTF can be used on a variety of materials.
Yeah, but what is PET? Is it PET G?
When choosing film, more durable than vinyl, screen printed because the ink is DTF prints valuable. What is it made out of? What is it made out of? Materials.
Well, anyway, I was heard that anyway it was, but anyway, it's a very thin film plastic. One side, which you can't see, is shiny, and the other side has a coating on it. And if you hold it up, the only way to see it is if you hold it up to the light. And I'm hoping actually you can see it right now. See how this is kind of dull? And if I flip it over, you try not to touch it because you're not supposed to touch it.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
See, this is shiny. There is a distinct difference, and I see it in the camera myself. This is very, very shiny compared to the other side. So the side that has the coating on it, or the dull side, so to speak, is the side that you print on.
By the way, it's called PET. You're right. It's called PET film.
PET film. PET film.
Yeah, it's a film that the heat transfers the fabric using the heat press machine.
Yeah, pet film. Yeah. So so it prints to that. What makes it different from apart from sublimation is it's a direct link to DTF is a direct link to the old screen printing, which we're all used to doing screen printing on your shirts and hats and stuff like that. So that's what you would link DTF to, where sublimation has to have at least 65% polyester or better, or you have to have cups that were designed for sublimation, or you have to have tumblers that were designed for sublimation, or you have to have shirts or caps that are 65%. And now I'll have arguments, I know that, and I don't give a flying flip about what the percentage is. But the more polyester, in other words, if you have 100% polyester shirt, the sublimation is going to look absolutely fantastic on it. So the more polyester in the fabric, the better. If you have 50-50, it's going to look dull as crap, because the sublimation, actually the ink on the piece of paper is had heat transferred by, I want to say osmosis, but it ain't osmosis. It's the ink gets heated to a point where it transfers off the paper into whatever it's on.
A gas.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. A gas. So the gas actually transfers it off the paper onto whatever. And when we're talking about fabric, it loves polyester. So if you had 100% polyester t-shirt, you could, and you made the transfer, it would look like incredible, because that's what the gas wants to bond to, is the polyester. Now, if you got 50-50 cotton, then it's going to look like, now we're talking about sublimation. It's going to look like an old-timey, old-fashioned shirt that you would print, you know what I'm saying? That has that not too bright colors or whatever. So it's going to look like that. So that's the difference between DTF and sublimation. Now, when I talk about that, I have never tried it, and I don't know. I looked for videos to see if I could try it on cups, as far as DTF on cups or tumblers. I haven't found any videos to say that you can use a DTF on cups or tumblers. It's mostly dealing with fabrics. So I am going to try it on like some sublimation cups and tumblers, since I have them already here, and just see if it will work or not. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But basically, it's really in that not that hard of an operation. I just wanted to show you something real quick. When I held up that first piece of plastic, this is a transfer I did. For someone, and you can see the vibrant colors. Well, they put it on a sweatshirt or a hoodie. I'm not sure. They told me they were going to do a hoodie, but they showed me a picture of a sweatshirt, so that's okay. And it looked exactly like this. I mean, it was on a cotton sweatshirt, and it looked just like this. So, yeah, that's the vibrant colors you can get off the DTF. Now, going after that,
hey, Russ, Jimbo said he sent you a picture of him and his daughter with the cup that you did for him.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I asked him if he was in. Now, for instance, let's go with this one here first. And Donna seen this and fell in love with it.
Yeah, that one's cute.
Why don't you make your screen big, Russ?
Well, I
love
guess I could.
I need that. I need that on my jacket or something.
Now, this was actually done on a small kitchen towel.
That's gorgeous. Yeah.
And that's the difference. And I don't know what the content of polyester. I don't know what the content of cotton. I just know that I did it on one of these small kitchen towels, and it turned out this great. This is not sublimation, once again. Now, this towel is about probably 14, or the standard kitchen towel, 14, 12, 14 wide or whatever. But then I tried it on something really, really big. Which is, I have posted it on Facebook, which is this one. This is another standard kitchen towel. It was white. I chose a white towel just to see how it would turn out for the heck of it. And
That's pretty.
It's just one sheet.
no, actually, this took 3 sheets. The
Oh.
center is 1 sheet, and the 2 on each side is a second and third sheet. Because my printer will only print 8.5. Actually, it's 9 by 13, but you can only get 8.5 by 12, I think it is. So I had to print the center piece and then the 2 pieces on the outside and do them. But once again, this is like mostly cotton. And you can see how vibrant the colors and everything turned out. Now, I love the DTF. Don't get me wrong. Did I make a mistake for ordering it? Nope, not whatsoever. I'll explain these how you have to go through your process. But the thing about it is, it has its drawbacks. First off, it's not cheap. It requires its own ink. It requires its own film. It requires a heater. You have to actually, and it requires that you put the DTF
Let Alan.
Oh, okay. Thank
See
you.
Later.
Are you gone?
Yep, I'm gone.
All right.
See ya. Something we
See ya.
said.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
See ya. Won't want to be ya.
I'll let you in. So, well, he still hadn't got back. If y'all see him in the bottom, let me know. It requires its own oven, so to speak, to bake the. Here he is. He's back again. I see.
It says I'm back.
Yeah, not sure what's going on. Every time I click on the link to Aussie Man's contest, my browser locks up totally, so I can't.
Well, then don't click on it again.
Right? Yeah. I'm going to send a link out, but I don't know. That's why I was
The
asking
doctor-
Aussie Man to
The
send me
doctor says it hurts when I do this.
that don't do
And
that.
he slaps his hand and says, "Well, don't do that."
So send me a new link, Aussie Man.
So anyway,
Please?
let's go back to what I was talking about. I forgot my
Throw in the
train of
chat
thought.
too, Al.
You got to the
Yeah, that-
point where
that's
you
what we're
said you
trying to
got to
do.
have a special oven or something.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it comes. You either have to buy the oven separately, and I got mine in a package, which came. It was on a sale, Black Friday sale, which came with the printer, the ink, the paper, the oven, everything I needed in that package. So what you have to do is also once you take the print after it is printed out of the printer, sorry to repeat myself, I have to put it into a tub, or you can buy for like $600 and something a machine that will actually spread the powdered plastic over the print, which I didn't do, and you put it into a tub and you spread the plastic over the print ink immediately. And then once you finish doing that, you stick it into an oven and you bake it. Now, once you bake it, which is, I told them before, it's like 120 degrees Celsius for 200 seconds. Once you bake it for that period of time, then you take it out and cool it. You can either transfer it to a t-shirt or whatever you want to transfer it to, or you can actually put it in a file folder and hold it just like you can do sublimation. Like I can start printing stuff right now for Valentine's Day of next year. And once they've cooled off and cured, I would say give it like 4 or 5 hours. You can put it in a file folder and say, hey, here's all my Valentine's stuff for next year. I've already pre-printed it. Easter, pre-print them. So there's no problem with it. It won't bond together. It won't stick together at that point. Once it's cured, it has to be reheated by a t-shirt press or some other kind of means that heats it back up, stick it to whatever you're going to stick it to. So that being said, let's go ahead and look at, let's see if I can get it.
So it's an excellent setup if you're just going to do sweaters and t-shirts and all of that stuff. And towels.
Mostly from what I understand, yes. But here's the problem. We haven't got to the bad stuff yet.
Oh,
Yeah, we haven't got to the bad stuff.
there's bad stuff.
Yes, there is bad stuff.
WTF?
Yeah. There is some bad stuff.
I know you are, but what I am.
Present.
Screwed that one up.
Share screen. Oh, this is not working what I thought it would do.
PET is polyethylene terephthalate.
Okay.
And it's the #1 excellent stuff as far as recycling. It's excellent for that.
So what's the? Is it similar to PET G? In other words, what's the G if it is?
It's not PET G. You're thinking of 3D printing. It's just PET.
Right.
Polyethylene terephthalate. That's a type of polyethylene.
I'm trying to get you on to the pictures, I swear. It's just I'm trying, and I'm having problems with how to share it.
Totally different. PET G is polyethylene
PET G is different.
terephthalate glycol.
That's for
which is a
that's for 3D
thermoplastic
printing.
polyester that's commonly used in 3D printing. So they are different then. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know how I can do this.
And by the way, that's 151 and 152, not 1510, guys. That's Aussie Man's projects. They're awesome.
They're so vibrant. The image
Yes.
can handle UV light. That's why it lasts so long.
Right. Give me a second. I'm trying to figure out how the heck I can show this.
I'm just filling in dead time.
Oh, I know. Yep. And I thank you for it. Trust me. I'm just trying to figure out. It's actually, I put it in video and picture format, so it's not on a screen as you would say. So when I go to present.
This is live, not Memorex.
Share screen.
Somebody have a song they can sing maybe in the meantime?
We're gonna throw some reggae
No,
on.
it's not working. I don't understand why. Let me see if I can do this.
I can do this too.
Well, I'm trying to show a picture, but the picture is not on the internet, so to speak. So it's on my hard drive. So therefore, StreamYard is saying when
open up the picture and then go over to the window. When you go to share, there's some tabs up on top that say
well, hold on, let me see.
Monitor or program, I think. Where's Paul when you need him?
Get him back in here.
What's cool about PET is we put it on printed stuff too because it's good. It's food grade.
Yeah.
Yes, it's also
chips.
food grade. It is. Yeah, see, it's not letting me do it.
Do present and then share screen, Russ, and then go over to window and then find.
Hold on. You're telling me too many things too quick.
So present.
Hold on.
If anyone's interested, I got the mic cord untangled.
It took you what, 30 minutes to do that?
Easily, yeah.
Meanwhile, 40 minutes into the
I
show
don't
later,
have a present.
Really?
I have an present. Okay.
Yeah. Present, then share screen. And then
Okay.
window. And then window. And then whatever program you opened it in should be shown there. Or you can present the whole screen if you want. There you go. Awesome.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it so very much.
I learned everything I know from Paul.
Well, no, you bailed me out on this one. Trust me.
You now
Thank
the
you.
new
I
expert.
appreciate it.
Oh boy. Paul's going to be horrified.
Okay, this is the oven and printer combination that I bought. You can't have one without the other. You can buy the printer, but it's basically worthless without the oven. So the oven actually holds 2 sheets, which I'll show in the next video.
Can you bake a cake in the oven?
It does 120 degrees Celsius for 200 seconds.
Ooh. 200 seconds.
And
that's
yeah,
3 minutes, 12 eggs.
Well, that's 120. It's less than 2 minutes. Yes, because 2 minutes is 240. So
that's the same printer you do your other sublimation stuff with too, right?
No.
Okay, I thought so. It's different.
No.
It's a different.
This is a whole different printer.
Yep.
See, this has a temperature.
Yep.
This fluctuates from 38 something to 40 something constantly. It has to keep the ink heated before it can attach it to the, what'd you call the paper?
Pet.
Pet paper.
Yep.
Yes.
That's short for.
So it has to heat it up. And there's a second thing is there's a tank on the back of this printer that when it brings in the ink and it heats it and it gets it ready and it puts it onto the paper, that once it finishes with it, it has to dump it because it can't stay in the heating tank because it will not work. So, I mean, this is a big process. This is not something that you just want to say, I'm going to jump out there and jump into tomorrow. Okay. So now that this has got going, this is once the image is printed. I bought this little tub from Walmart.
What size?
It will hold 16 by. I'll have to give you the dimensions, but that's the powder. It'll hold 16 by 14. I think it is 16 by 14. Yeah. That's the powder that they send with you, and you can buy the DTF powder from other places. So you will take the transfer from the DTF printer, and you'll lay it in the bottom of the tank or the. Now you're going to pour the powder. This is plastic. Don't ask me what kind of plastic. It's just plastic powder. And now what you're going to do is they make machines that'll do this. They cost $600.
Ooh.
So I didn't want to. So what you want to do is rock it back and forth across the print.
So that's actually
Numerous
on the
times.
back of the print.
Do what?
So that's actually on the back of the print.
Yes, that's actually on the ink side of the print.
The ink
You're
side.
coating the ink with this plastic.
So what is
Then
the
once you
plastic
finish-
for that you have to coat the
I don't understand what you're saying. What is the plastic that you're
I'm
putting
just
it on
wondering
for?
why is the plastic needed to coat the ink before you
Because
put it on
it bonds to whatever you're going to put it on.
Okay, so the plastic's like the transfer medium.
Yes, it's a transfer medium between the ink
Okay.
and whatever you're going to put it on.
Okay,
Now you can reuse this plastic powder again. You just pour it back into the container. And then I
Okay,
put
so
it back
yeah.
into I put it back in. Don't give me a second. I put it
Okay,
back
go ahead.
into this and seal it back up so that it keeps it away from the air. And then I put the lid back on the container to make sure that, contaminants like dust and dirt don't fly back into the container. So that's the next project or process.
So that's about the same size as those totes.
Now, once you get it,
Yeah.
once you've applied the plastic to the print, the oven will actually hold 2 full-size prints.
Which is what you're putting in there now.
Yes, those are the prints, and it will run for 120 degrees Celsius for 200 seconds.
And for those in Rio
And then
Linda,
this
200
is-
seconds is a little.
This
over
is
3
just a
minutes.
picture of the print coming out of the printer.
Looks like a panda.
it does.
Well,
It sure
that's
does.
what their signature is. Panda. All their
Oh,
printers
cool.
have the panda face on it.
Yeah.
Convenient.
I thought I needed to adjust my meds.
Okay, so the
No,
pretty
all
side
the-
is actually the back at this point.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
The bottom, right?
So in other words, this right there that I'm looking at right now is the ink side.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The pretty side is on the bottom, and it doesn't hurt. It's on the top of the the plastic. So
Yeah,
when
that's-
I do, let's go back here. When I do this, I'm actually attaching the plastic, the powdered plastic that comes in, that they give you, to the ink. See, I kept it in this container, which keeps this moisture out of it. And you can reuse it over and over and over until you use it all up. There's no shelf life for it. As long as you keep it sealed up, you can just keep on using it.
Can we catch up with questions from the chat?
Hold on, just
Okay, go ahead.
Now you're taking, this is the ink side, and now I'm going to apply the plastic to the ink side. All right, now you want to go ahead and with questions, go ahead.
Well, I think it's a combination question between Dan Engie and myself. Dan wanted to know, hang on a minute, where was I? If you could cook a burrito in that oven.
I say 3 minute egg.
After we saw the oven, since I was thinking brownies, I don't think you could do the burrito in there because it would burn the edges. But a cubano, it may do a cubano. So
yeah, could do a cubano.
We need to talk more about that.
Yeah.
You could do a tortilla in it.
Tortilla press would be that would be good. Yeah. Okay, Dan was the only one brave enough to ask a question.
Well,
so
and Russ, I've got a question. What are you washing this in? In other words, shouldn't you be wearing gloves, or is that just water?
No, it's actually, I looked it up to make sure that it's just like a plastic polymer powder, and it's food eatable food. I wouldn't take a tablespoon of it and put it in my mouth, but in the same aspect,
it's like margarine. Then is it edible? Is my question. It's like margarine.
Send some to Al.
So, but yeah, see how I'm putting back? I got this sealed container from Walmart, a couple of bucks, and put it back and seal it up.
No.
And then put it back away, and then I seal the container back again to keep the moisture out, and plus due to the fact that I don't want any dust or dirt in it. So
right.
Yeah.
Very
it's
nice.
not edible. It's just that it can touch food and it'll be all right. It can come in contact with food. The reason it's so bright is because you have that bright colored ink underneath, and you're putting like a polymer on top. So when you flip it around, it bakes into the material, and it's like a
right. The plastic coating. Is like the polymer coating that you're sealing all the ink onto. So like Dixon said, when you put it on the material, the plastic is what adheres and bakes into the material and just brings the ink along with it.
So when you're done printing, the cloth has like no indication that it has some kind of a plastic on it or something. It doesn't.
It feels
make
plastic.
The printed area stiff or anything like
that.
No,
it makes the printed area that you can feel it just like it would be if it was.
That's cool. Yeah.
What do you call it? What did I say before?
It's like silk screen, but it's baked right into the threads.
Silk screen.
Okay.
Yeah, silk screen, or the t-shirts like they used to do.
The difference is the silk screen is solvent, like solvent inks.
Right. But
this you don't have to deal
and
with
then, like
that.
I said, this is the kind of stuff that you can get out with it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's like a 2-stage part, and the ink is on this side. That's why it's so vibrant.
Can you feel this? Yes, it feels very smooth, but in the same aspect, I can feel, because of the towel texture, I can feel the towel texture underneath it. So it's smooth. It feels like plastic laid on top of the towel. That's the only way to put it. But this is durable. It's supposed to last just as long as screen printing.
You were saying higher polyester content? What
No,
polyester
you can
content?
use it on anything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I like that. Okay, so there's no chance of it peeling because it's in the fabric.
Right. You're baking it into the fabric.
Okay. Other question. Can you use an iron for pressing, or does it need to be a heat press? You know, because
No, it has to be a consistent temperature with actually not only temperature,
UV.
but pressure to push it into the fabric.
No UV?
No UV.
No UV? Huh.
Yeah, if you was to try to use an iron, you're not going to be consistent, and you're not going to be able to apply the same type of pressure that this requires to. You're not only heating the plastic, if that's a way of putting it. You're not only heating the plastic, but you're pushing it into the fabric.
Yeah, you're infusing it.
Good word. Thank you.
It's not like a sticker. It's not gonna work right with an iron. Yes, it has to bond equally.
Yes, and it will bond. This is tough. I've sit there and played with it with my finger and tried to peel it off, and it's like, yeah, this ain't coming off.
Now you can lay that in the sun for a week, and it's not going to affect the print. That's the cool thing about it.
And the other one I did was which Donna fell in love with was the.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, that's how you get the neat colors.
Yep. So I need that like a 6x10, so I can use my heat press and put it on a shirt or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know when you open up your bag of chips, how that shiny aluminum foil's on the inside? That is not food grade. So we have giant rolls of PET, and we laminate it to that aluminum, and you can see right through it, and you can put food against it. You can't against the aluminum ink, but you can when it's laminated to the inside of the bag of the chip.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, this is look. My wife come up with this Santa's little heifer.
Yeah, I like that on there.
Heifer.
Yeah, Santa's little heifer.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice.
Excellent colors.
Now, if you want to get involved in this, here's the drawbacks. Number one, the machine has to run at least 8 to 10 hours a day. We're talking about the printer. And you need to print something at least once to twice a day. I found out twice a day is better.
Now, you said you can store it, the prints, right?
You can store this print. I can store for 10 years or whatever and come back and print and put it in a heat press and it'll be good.
That's because he put that powder on it.
Yes, it's got the plastic coating on
white
top
powder?
of it.
Yes, he put it in the tub, and he's got the coating on the back side, on the printed side.
So it's baked into it.
Yes, it coats it, and then it lasts a long time.
I can put this in a file folder. For matter of fact, I can start printing stuff for Valentine's Day and open up a file folder. And once that cures, put it into a file folder to say, these are my Valentine's Day prints that I'm going to put on shirts and sell. And they'll stay right there without any problem.
Now there's certain JPEG, PNG, whatever certain ones that you have to do to get a good print? I mean,
Well, the higher quality, it's just like anything else. The higher the quality, the better it's going to look.
Don't you just save them at like
You
photo quality?
Yes, you can save it at any JPEG or
Yeah. Well,
bit,
here's the thing,
bitmap, but he wants the resolution good.
Yeah.
No, here's the point. You want,
Pixels.
like, for instance, there's only one type of transparent image, and it's not JPEG. Although I've heard they coming out with JPEG transparents. It's a PNG transparent. This is a PNG transparent. So it would have
there's
to be
no background.
exactly.
Paint.
Otherwise,
Yep.
you would have the white border all the way around it. So you want to look for transparent PNGs, unless you, for instance, would want to put this on a black background. Then you might want to have an outline or a how do you want to put it around it that would be in white, so that it would make it stand out.
Like an offset, then you do that
Yeah,
offset.
outside-
there,
You'd
white.
offset,
outside trace. Outside.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yep.
Outside
yeah,
trace.
outside trace.
if I had a JPEG image, I need to change it to PNG, or is it PNG transparent? I mean,
The only transparent that I know is PNG. So if you had a JPEG image, you would have to take it into Photoshop and
Convert it.
actually convert it to
Convert
a
it, yep.
PNG and tell it to, and then it will not always do that. You might have to remove the white background. So there's a process that you have to go through to change it over.
okay.
So you're better off just looking for a transparent PNG right off the bat.
Yeah. Sometimes when you go on Etsy and you buy patterns and sketches and stuff like that, or drawings to put on laser printers, it'll come with an SVG file, a PNG file.
Right. Exactly.
It's like a laser.
Now,
yep,
if it comes,
it's like a laser loves SVGs.
Yep.
This system
Right.
loves the ping.
Yeah, PNGs are the way to go with this. Yeah, definitely.
but you can take, now, if it's an SVG file, it would be very easy peasy to convert it to a transparent PNG.
Yep.
Now, a JPEG file, you would have to take in Photoshop and remove background and all this other kind of stuff. So if you get either SVG or PNG would be you're looking for, because the SVG you could save as a PNG and do it transparent, and it would do that.
There's some websites.
Corel Draw would do that, and also Photoshop would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some websites that'll do that too. You can upload the image and it'll change it.
PNG. It likes PNG because that's a portable graphics format, and it's
Right.
uncompressed raster. That's why it likes
Yes.
it. It's an uncompressed raster image.
Yes.
Okay, so
it with paint up.
totally different question.
Go ahead,
If you
Don.
clog up your head, how hard is it to get it fixed? I've had some people say that if it gets clogged up, the whole machine's toast.
No, if it gets clogged up, the whole machine's not toast. You just have to spend hours of unclogging it.
How do you unclog it?
First off, you would do, okay. So during this past weekend, which my wife and I was gone, or mostly gone, and it needed to print at least once a day for like 2 or 3 days. There were at least 3 days, maybe 4 days, I didn't print anything. When I came back, the first thing I did was do a head cleaning. They would not recommend more than 2 within 24 hours. So I did 2 head cleans right off the bat. Then I created a file that requires it to print all the colors, including white, in 1/2-inch strips by 6 inches long. And so I put that file in and had it printed. Well, the first time it printed it out, it took like 3/4 of the way for the white to come through. The cyan, magenta, what's the 4 CMTK?
CMYK.
Yeah, all the cyan, yellow, magenta, yeah, whatever you want to call them.
Black.
They all, the black all came out great, but the
Cyan,
white
magenta.
took a while. Yeah, the white took a while to come out finally. And after the second printing, the white was coming out really, really good. So
it's doing a flush and it's cooling and then heating up the ink again, because it has to keep circulating or it's going to clog up. But it does, when he does it clean, it's flushing it.
Yeah, the CYMK is not a problem.
Right.
It's the white, because the white has titanium oxide in it, and that's what will clog up.
Dun, dun, dun.
So if you do it twice and it still don't work, what then?
It's
You would
toast,
have
Donna,
to try,
at that point.
then you would have to do a head cleaning, a severe head cleaning. In other words, you get sponges that you go in there and put them underneath the heads and clean the heads out. You would have to purge the tank. You would probably take you 2 or 3 hours to clean the machine to get it to running again.
I'd throw the whole thing in paint thinner just to show it who's boss. But that's me.
I'd add a little butter since it's toast. And
well, here's the thing. It also, on the back side of the machine, has a cup. It's probably 3 inches tall, probably 2.5 inches in diameter. So all the spare ink that it does not use and the printing, it actually dumps out into that cup. So every so many days, you're supposed to check the cup, and if it's got 3/4 in it, you dump that ink out. So what actually is, if you look at the top of the head, or where the head is, it's got like a tank, and it's got all kind of compartments in it, and you can see the ink in it. So the residual ink that it doesn't use, it's kind of like squashing over on and wiping itself off onto that head. And that's what's purging itself out into that. And I know it's hard to explain. It took me a while to understand it myself, but it's purging itself out into that tank. So that's actually the scrap ink out in that tank. The CYMK doesn't have a problem because it doesn't have the titanium oxide.
Right.
The titanium oxide is the one that dries up or hardens. And that's in the white to make the white work. That's the reason for the heat. If the CYMK doesn't need the heat. Actually, I can be sitting here right now and it's on, and I could actually hear it kick in and go, you can hear a motor go, and that's it circulating the white ink to keep it from hardening up.
It sounds funny, but white has more pigments than any color.
And white is the hardest, hardest one to make.
If you didn't have white for that background, you'd have an image like this. See this image right here?
Be washed out.
If you didn't have a white pigment in that printer, here's what you're going to end up with. See it now? It's clear.
Yeah.
You need the white background to make the image
look perfect. Let's put it this way. It's a challenge. I would not buy this unless I was ready to expect, and I read everything about it and was fully understanding when I accepted the challenge to keep it. I plan on printing stuff at least twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. And yes, I plan on printing stuff for Easter, Valentine's, and getting stuff ready ahead of time. So
I think if I needed it, I'd just pay Russ to do it, and because ain't nobody got time for that.
You can, and guess what? People that, like, for instance, you say you want me to print something for you and send it to you. You're talking about at least, I'm looking at $5 to $8 for me to print it, plus shipping.
Yeah. The colors are extraordinary when you do that process, though.
So in other words, people, I've seen them as cheap as $5 on Etsy, and I've seen them as expensive as $8 on Etsy plus shipping. So because I have to put it in a double cardboard folder to keep it from getting bent, and and ship it.
Still cheaper than buying all that crap and trying to deal with it myself.
Yeah. But so in other words, let's say I charge you $5 and you're looking at least $3 to ship it. So you're looking at least $8 for me to send it to you.
If you didn't circulate that white ink and you took your finger and took a dab of it and rubbed it on a table, that would harden in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow.
It has to be circulated or it's going to get hard and plug up.
Yep. I can hear the machine running. Like, trust me, I've been in this room. When I was embroidering my mother-in-law's sheets and bed sheets and all this stuff, which Donna was helping me, I talked to her about embroidering the comforter. I could hear the machine kick in and circulate.
And there's a tiny miniature heater in there, and that has to be right at the right temperature.
Well, it fluctuates. It fluctuates anywhere from 38 to 40. When it's printing, it'll build to 40, but it drops as low as 38 at times, 36 at times, and then it'll go, and that's Celsius.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's only a couple digits.
Yeah. I've seen it fluctuate anywhere between 40 to 36. But when you get ready to print, as soon as you hit that print thing, it jumps up to 40 Celsius. What is that Fahrenheit, Dixon? Wow.
Hey, I told you guys no math on the weekends.
I didn't think we were going to do math, so
I totally am not prepared for this.
Alexa's in the other room, so I can't ask her.
Oh wait, yeah.
it's 103 degrees Fahrenheit, 40.
How much?
Celsius. 103 degrees.
No, I said, 40 is 103. Okay, thank you. 103 degrees. I thought I misunderstood you, but 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so it needs to stay 103 degrees Fahrenheit.
104.
40
is 104.
104. Okay. All right.
40.
Okay.
So it don't matter if you have it in a room that gets cold and warm and all that, because it's got its own little heater thing.
Yeah, but you don't want to get too carried away.
I would say no. I would not keep it in any. I would keep it in a controlled environment.
Yeah, 70-degree
I
house.
have this room right here. I come in here in the mornings and it's like 50 degrees.
Yeah, I would say that I would keep it. I would think that it would be in a controlled environment, and usually that's 70 degrees or more.
Yeah, you'll have issues.
Anywhere in my house.
That's too cold.
Yeah,
I don't have 70 anywhere in my house.
You have to, when you decide, if you decide to take this on, you have to be ready to accept the responsibilities, because it's not just like hooking up a normal printer to your computer. And and it's even more complicated than sublimation, because I can print my sublimation printer. I can print something once a week on it and it's fine.
I would charge 25% more per shirt with this system, but you're getting the colors. You're getting the vibrant, crazy colors that look awesome.
Well, me and Mother talked about it, but we've decided, we want to do a lot more research before we decide to go that way.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, this is on look at the type of towel it is. See that type of material? And look how vibrant that is.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous.
Thank you. Now, and you can see, if you get down on it, I don't think the camera will, you can see the plastic on it, but you can also see with the eye, you can see where it's right there on the white. Look at the white on the hat. See how those squares are? That's
When
the fabric underneath.
When you see the pattern of the material, that's when you got it baked in perfect.
Yeah, see the white? You can see the pattern of the material in the white without any problem.
What do you mean
So
by
that means-
pattern of the material? The
squares,
stitching?
the little squares.
The
No,
stitching
the
and stuff?
squares.
The fabric.
squares.
It's
I can't see
infused.
the. I'm sorry, I can't see the fabric real well.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it's infused
Yeah, the
right
fabric.
in that fabric. That's when you
Okay.
got a good bonding.
all right, got
Yeah.
it.
So if you don't get a good bonding, can you heat it up again on your heat press?
No.
No. You got to right
If
You're not going to get the same
if you
result.
don't, you get
one
this-
shot.
Yeah,
Think of it as a one-shot deal.
The same thing as with sublimation. It's a one-shot deal.
Yeah.
Mute yourself, Jim, if you listen to it.
What's that? Sorry.
Said, mute
This
yourself
one,
if you listen to
this
any
one,
music I sent you.
this one is my, what do you want to call it? My le couple, my bestie. This one turned out this is a extra wide kitchen towel. It's like 18, 20 inches or whatever. But this is my bestie right here. And this one, it just turned out absolutely beautiful. I mean,
They
you can
really
see
are
the
vibrant, man. That's just
yeah,
amazing.
you see the actual fabric underneath it by the eyesight. I can, but I don't know if you can by camera.
Now you can get sublimation like that, but it's going to be more flat. It's not going to look as nice.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
this
not
is
gonna
my
look as
bestie.
nice.
This is the first one I did actually. And I was so impressed with it. I went like, "Ooh, hallelujah.
Look what I did.
Yeah, yeah. Look what I did. Look what I did." Yeah. I was like, yeah. And then I did this. This was like the second or third one I did. The Mui. Now this is the normal size kitchen towel. This is like 14 by 24 or something. This is the normal, and it's very thin.
Go full screen again so people can get a better look.
It's actually the
There you go.
yeah. It's yeah. You see the squares in the material.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. If you look really close. I have to show you the hat. I think that's where you see it the best. But you can see the squares and the material and the hat in places.
Yeah, make it out.
Yeah, so that means it bonded really, really well. But now this is cheap. I got these at Walmart for like 12 of them for like $5. This is very thin material. This is material that's hard to embroidery because it's so thin. I mean, I can see the light. You can see the light through it if I'm looking from the backside, and that bonded really, really well to it. And this is, I looked at it at one time because I cut the tag off of it, but this is like a 50-40 blend, 50 cotton 50 cotton, 40 polyester or something like that, you know.
And
But I mean, you can see the red line underneath.
Right.
But I knew that was possibly happening because when I did it, because it says if you have a darker color, even though the white does its best to cover it up, it's still going to be kind of translucent.
Would you say then one of the cons to it is that's not a cheap system. That's like a $2,000 to $3,000 system, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to spend. Yeah.
Yep.
And then this, though, you can see the material underneath it. how it bonded to it. Oh, I'm tickled. I'm tickled pink. No, you're going to spend $2,000-3,000 if you want this system.
Wow. That's an expensive hobby then.
Yeah, it can be.
What if you go fishing? A boat is $30,000. It's chicken feed then.
Don't go fishing.
Exactly.
No, no, it's an expensive hobby, but my point being is I wanted to be able to produce. Okay, when I first started down this path, and I think I'd said this before, I mean, I love my wood shop. I want to continue to make wood. Don't get me wrong. But in the same aspect, there may come a point in time when my emotions are limited due to my back. So therefore, I need to find hobbies that I can do that if I can't, and I can run a laser and a CNC, obviously, but there may become a point, but I might not be able to turn a bowl. There may become a point when I might not be able to make a box on my bandsaw from my ability to stand for long periods of time. There may be a point that I'm limited as what I can do on the table saw. Some things in my life with my back the way it is may become limited. So therefore, I'm looking and exploring ideas of 3D printing, embroidery, sublimation, the new thing that come on the block, DTF, so that if I cannot physically get out in the shop and do some more things, I can. This room is set up to do DTF, sublimation, 3D printing, all those things, resin printing, all those things are right in this room. I can walk in here and do everything. So therefore, I have to look at that point when it becomes down to the time. Is that going to be, or can I still continue to go out in the shop and print or turn a bowl or make a box or a bandsaw box, or still continue to do that? So I'm exploring my options to see what happens in the future. I don't know what happens in the future. My back is getting worse day by day. When I first started taking gabapentin, I was able to sleep on my left side for a while. It's getting to the point that it's getting so bad I can't sleep on my left side anymore. I sleep totally on my right side. You know how that sucks to have to sleep all night long on one side? You can't roll over, because as soon as you roll over, the pain is so intense that you immediately have to, it wakes you up.
Yes.
I mean, you're
Put
sleeping
pillows
on
your
your
legs.
I've got one. Trust me. You're sleeping on your right side. You accidentally roll over on your left side during the night, and the next thing you know, you're waking up in agony and have to flip back over to your right side to stop the pain. Yes, I sleep with a pillow between my legs.
That happens with me, except it's with leg cramps.
Yeah.
And I come flying straight up out the bed.
Leg cramps. Yeah.
So I'm saying, I'm exploring my options so that if I get to that point, at least I can keep myself busy mentally and physically. I can walk into this room and I can sit down in a chair and I can embroidery. I can walk in this room. This computer actually runs the sublimation and the DTF printer, the one I'm on right now. So I can DTF print or I can sublimation print. I can do a cup. I can do a t-shirt. I can do whatever I want to do in this room.
Donald's a slacker.
Yep.
So,
know,
but my point being is I'm looking at options for my future because I don't know what my future holds, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Hey, that's a good way to look at it, though. I mean, I've been trying to get things in the shop that I know after I retire this year, I won't be able to afford,
Yeah.
So get them now while you got the money and, get yourself set up for when you're not going to be able to do it.
Chris is a firsthand person to say he understands his limits, he understands his abilities, and he puts his shop in a position that therefore he can create things. Do you not?
Yes, everything is set up. Only thing left is the table saw that has to come down a little lower.
Yeah.
So, and I'll work
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
But I've
But
seen
he's-
Chris hanging Christmas lights too, guys. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good,
Yeah,
example
don't-
there.
Yeah.
I have been
But my
banned.
point-
I've been banned
But my
from climbing on
point-
the roof.
My point being is Chris set his shop up so that he could do things in his shop. There may come a point when I'm limited as to what I can do, like Chris is. And so therefore I'm getting ready and prepared for it, just in case.
Don't worry, Russ.
I
I'll
don't
loan you
want
a
to be,
spare wheelchair.
huh?
I'll loan you a spare wheelchair.
Yeah.
By the way,
I
Russ,
mean,
by the way, Aussie Man is definitely mentioning some things out there about his limitations, and he says he only sleeps on his back in a chair due to the pain that he's used to, and he hasn't slept in a bed for 6 years. But the
Oh,
point
my
is,
gosh.
he said he's still out in that shop in his
Yes.
little
Scooter. Yeah.
electric
Well,
chair,
I'm-
man, doing it. So
yeah,
you can get
I'm
out
still doing this kind of stuff too. You know,
mean-
I'm not limiting to what I can and can't do. I'm exploring possibilities of what I can and can't do.
because you
I
know
know,
what
I'm
they
going
say
to
about,
limit myself.
Buttercup.
you know what they say
Yeah.
about if you're not making sawdust, right?
Yeah.
Well, I plan on making. There's another thing too. Is it may be limited to where I go back to only thing I can do is scroll saw. That's
Yep.
another thing where I can sit down in front of a scroll saw. If I can sit down in front of a embroidery machine and watch it embroidery, I can sit down and do scroll saw work. Yes, it may be down to the point where I may not be able to turn bowls, but I can sit down and scroll saw.
Hey, I need to make an observation real quick. We've gone the whole night and talked and got sporadic comments in the chat that weren't chop busting. But as soon as we started talking about aches and pains, the whole,
And now,
the whole
welcome to
chat
Geriatric
room was
Hour,
up.
boys and girls.
Everybody's got something to say now. Trish has got a bad ankle. Aussie's like, I can't sleep in a bed.
Yep.
I don't know what to think about this.
Welcome to the Geriatric
Well,
Hour.
Yep.
so anyway, don't waste your money if you're not willing to get into this, because it will cost you money or you'll throw money out the door.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
Because if you're not willing to print once or twice a day and you're not willing to keep up on the maintenance, in other words, once a week, this thing has to be cleaned, which requires the heads to be cleaned, which requires several things to go on about it. So if you're not willing to keep up on it's not strenuous. It's not over. I mean, it's just simple little things you got to do. It's no big deal. But if you're not willing to stay up on it, you're going to throw the money out the door. Because I try to print something once or twice a day just to make sure the machine's running. And I've also created a pattern that I print, which is, I don't think I have one. Let me look real quick.
So let's see what the chat has to say now.
Jim
Hey,
had
look.
a good point. Before you retire, buy all the toys you can. Now, I've been doing that for the last half a year. I said to my wife, "What do you need? Buy it now."
Yep.
While
Okay,
you're-
this is one of the files that I print before I try to print anything drastic, which is it's smudged because it got put in the garbage can. But see, you have the 4 colors and the 2 whites on the left, and actually this has 2 white tanks, not 1, 2 white tanks, because of the type of white it needs to use. It's sucking up more white than normal, so it has 2 white tanks. But it prints all the colors, including the 2 whites on the left. And if I print this and it prints out great, then I know without a shadow, and this is smudged because I got to put it in the garbage can right after it got printed. If it prints this out great, and see, there's another one on the other end, I can get 2 of them out of 1 piece of paper. Then I know it's printing great and I can print. So this cost me twice I can print one on one end and one on the other. So one in the morning and one in the afternoon, or one day and one the next, to make sure it's working. So this cost me that ink and that piece of paper just to make sure it's working right before I print.
Yep.
So
it's
if
better
you're not
than
willing,
wrecking a whole print.
exactly. So if you're not willing to spend the time and the money, like I just printed this for nothing just to make sure it was printing right before I printed my print, before I printed this.
That's kind of the rule with any hobby. You always waste your first ones making sure everything works.
Yeah, you prime or something like that. Yes.
See, I print this to make sure this is working.
Yeah. Wow.
So, Russ, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What time did you tell Nancy you were going to end?
28 minutes ago.
You want me to call her and give you an excuse? I will.
Yeah. So we're gonna cut it out of here.
Good info. That was a good show.
It
Excellent
was.
info.
It was good info.
Yeah.
No, I don't regret spending the money, and I fully understood what I was getting into when I spent the money. And you're looking at $3,000, yeah. And I don't regret it. Now, the package that I bought, I will tell you, came with everything. It came with the printer, the oven, the ink, the paper. It's got its own software, by the way. You have to use their software.
Of course.
What? No Lightburn?
No Lightburn, no nothing. It's called Pro Color.
Yeah, probably because of the multiple colors, I bet.
Yeah, it's their own software. But everything. So in other words, when I opened the box and took everything out, I had everything I needed right then and there to print.
That's good.
So it came with extra printing heads. It came with extra tanks. It came with a lot of the extra stuff that I was not thinking that it would come with. It came with each color has its own funnel. The reason being is because when you're filling them up, you don't have to stop and clean the funnel. So it sent you with like 12 funnels, so that you would have plenty to refill each tank. And the ink is actually water soluble, so you can watch. Like if I use 4, or it would actually be 4, 5, 6 funnels on filling. No, only 5 funnels because the white's twice. So 5 funnels. All 5 funnels will clean with water and soap and water. So it's water soluble. The ink is. So, but you better be ready to be able to take care of it, because if you're not, then it's the machine will lock up and it's going to be useless. Yeah.
Jim, you got a new laser, and Lightburn is not recognizing it through the USB ports. So you got an OhmTech fiber laser, and has been trying to get it set up.
Yeah, what he could try to do is to change the COM port on the laser in Lightburn, and then go through the different COM ports and try to hit home. And once you get the right COM port, the laser will home itself, and you know you're connected to it.
You know, you can bring up the device manager probably and see what the COM port itself is. If you type device, it'll pop it up, and you go to the COM ports and check it.
It should pop up in the device manager. Yes.
Good idea, Jim. Good idea.
Yeah, but if you guys want to go through the device mangler and pull all your hair out, knock yourself out.
All right, so
we're
out of here. I'm sorry when a girl has no names out there. Aussie man.
It's Lady Frenzy Wicked Truth.
Yep. Heirloom Game Calls. Thank you all for being out there. I'm sorry I don't have enough time, because I told my wife I'd already be off, and I'm not. Listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, or if you're too darn busy to get out there and print some DTF or print some sublimation or make some embroidery, which I'm involved in all this stuff right now, or 3D print something. If you're just too darn busy to get off your lazy butt and make something, you're just too darn busy. So just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
All right, everybody out of here. Remember, you don't have to go home, but you can stay here.
Live on
Nope.
and
Gotta get out
prosper.
of here.
And what?
And wherever you go,
See ya.
there you are.